Hi, music students. Welcome to your violin lesson. We're going to be talking about finger crossing and rhythm building. So before we get started, I would love for you to go ahead and subscribe below, and where you're going to get notifications when I post new videos on here and on Miss Frankel's Studio of Music. You both check out those websites for me. And let's go ahead and get started. If you need to tune and playing some scales, maybe a C scale or a G scale, whatever level you're on that I've assigned you to, that I hope you're practicing every day. Go ahead and do that now. All right, and if you need to pause the video and go do that now, that's great. Okay, so I'm going to do my very best and do a screen share with you on how to accomplish these two tasks today. So if you are having issues with finger crossing and rhythm building, I want you to really pay attention and take some notes. So let's go do that now. My violin down. So we're going to make a list, and you're going to make it with me. So rule number one is what? Find out the measures that you're having issues with finger crossing. So for an example, measures 1 through 3 you're having issues with. The next thing we're going to do is find out what notes are the issues. Is it going from 2 on the A string to 3 on the D string? Uh-oh. Or could it be F sharp, going to 1 on the D? You never know what it might be. But for an example, let's just call it, you know what, let's go ahead and write it down. Yeah, let's go ahead and write it out. So we're going to write it out here in a second. And then number 3, what we're going to do is, figure out if they've got slurs or if they've got, different bowings and rhythms. So that's the next thing where it ties into rhythm building. So, so beats for rhythm and slurs will be the third thing. And then the fourth thing you'll do is practice those, those troublesome places 5 times without mistakes. So you're going to practice 5 times without mistakes. Okay, not messy, not messies. Okay, so let's go back up to number 2 and let's do a drawing. Okay, so let's go ahead. We've got a little bit of a, let's just say it's a, let's just call it like maybe like a quarter note. Sorry, I'm trying to color that in. And the line, yeah, that looks really let's just yeah, okay, let's do that. And then maybe it's like maybe it's like maybe 4, oops, maybe it's like 4/8 notes, that are just making you feel, just uncomfortable. So let's see. Here we go. Trying to see if I can move the sky down here. Oh, well, okay, it's all right. Okay, so let's just color that in. Now let's just go ahead and draw. So we're just basically getting an idea of what notes are troublesome. You don't have to be perfect, we're not Picasso. But yeah. And then we have maybe a half note at the end. Okay. Okay, so let's just pretend that these notes are really troublesome. And let's go ahead and say that they're in 2/2 time, or in other words, cut time, which also looks like this. Okay. It's not really pretty, but it's better than nothing. Actually, let's actually do this in 2/4 time, because a lot of you have not the my young violin students, they haven't studied in cut time yet. So let's do this in 2/4 time. That would be a better way of explaining this. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is basically we're going to figure out in a great, perfect way for you how everything is to be accomplished. So hang on a second. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at some examples on a sheet of music so that some of you are learning. So let's go ahead and dissect this even more. So let's go back to our notes really quickly. What did we say? We said that number one, measures. Figure out what measures they are. It can be anything. It doesn't have to be 1 through 3. It can be anything. Number two, find out the time signature. Find out what rhythms they are that you're having problems with and what you're having cross and finger crossings with. So you can even put a star by them, you know. And number three is the beats, which is the same thing, beats and slurs, you know, find out rhythms and slurs if they have any, because that really does matter. And I'll show that to you why in here in a minute. And then once you attack all those 4 points, all those 3 points, you're going to attack it 5 times without any mistakes. Okay. All right. And the idea is that we're not trying to get you, I'm not trying to get you to be a perfectionist, but I want you to be good about what you're doing. I want you to feel confident because that's the main idea here. Okay. So let's go ahead and go to what I was going to show you. Okay. So, oh no. Okay. So here we go. I had everything drawn out and everything, but yes, I got rid of it. Okay, let's go ahead and so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to find out what rhythms they are. For example, let's say my name is Susie and I'm having problems with measure 2 through 3 on number 73. Okay, so we're going to bracket that right now. Okay. And the rhythms I'm having is the crossovers. So now remember, okay, students, remember anything above the B line, the stems are going to go up. If any notes below the B line, the stems are going down. So don't let that throw you off, okay? And then any notes that are below the B line, okay, they're going to be on what string? They're going to be on the A and the D and the G string. Anything above that B line is going to be on the A and the E string, okay? So we have on the A string, okay, we have 1 on A, we have open A, and then we have 2 on D. So there's the changer. There's the kicker right there. These 2 notes, okay? So, and then we go back, we're still on D the whole way through, okay? And over here, this is not a problem section. This is just basically the same string on A, so we're good on that. We'll come back to this here in a minute. So now we're going to look at the time signature, okay? We have a time signature of 4/4 time. Here above, I love this book, Essential Elements for Strings. It's a book 1, really, really simple. So we have 4/4 time. I love the counting. Counting is so important. Even if you're tapping or clapping, it can be really important. So let's go like this. Let's say we can turn it into a food item really, really quickly. So a food item. Thinking pies and cakes. Cake, pie, 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 cake, 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 pie, pie, pie. And then the cakes are the 8th notes, and the pie is the quarter notes. So if you don't want to think of it in a food item, you can always turn it into just clapping it out loud. You can say 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So if that helps you, that's another way of, you know, really getting to the point where you're like, okay, I've got the rhythm. Now I can focus in on where my finger crossings are, you know? And so you're just making a list of accomplishing each task at one at a time, you know? Okay, now, all professionals do this when we have really hard music. So now that we've conquered what the time signature is, we need to make sure that there's not any surprising accidentals. There's not any here. But if there were, you need to point them out. Now let's keep going. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to find out what the crossings are, the string crossings. So we talked about how it's on A, open A, and then 2 on the D string. Okay. So what we're going to do now. So now I'm going to play a song, like a little short song, and I'm going to show you an examples of applying these 5 steps to crossing and rhythm building. So number 1, let's go back to it to refresh our memory again. Okay, so what's the first thing we're going to do? Find the rhythms, find the measures that we have problems with, then find the time signature, then find your notes that you're having problems with the crossing, and then find out what the beats are. If they have any slurs, practice it 5 times without any mistakes. Okay, so we're gonna do that right now. So, there we go. Okay, so for example, wait. Okay, sorry, that was by memory. That's the song in a Suzuki book that I played personally when I was very young, possibly your age. So doing that by memory was not planned, but yeah, it's a fun song. But as you can see, there was a lot of bow crossings and a lot of finger crossings. So if we take the 3 and the 2, we plan it ahead. We keep our fingers close to the fingerboard. So 3, 2, 1, 3, 3, 2, 1, 3. Okay, and there are some slurs, so keep that in mind. So, and if you don't want the slurs, you can start out with them without the slurs first. That's without the slurs. So you can always take the slurs out if there are any. So what's the first thing you're going to do is you're going to make another list. So if you are advanced, this is like if you're like in a couple levels after what we've just talked about for finger crossing and rhythm building, this is for you. Now, if you are planning on doing these steps even more intense, I want you to take a deep breath. We're going to dissect the Concerto Number 2 in Violin Book 4 in Suzuki. And let's go ahead, and we're going to use the same exact method, the 4 simple steps, just in a different, more difficult song. So even if you're, you know, a beginner violin, this is going to be so simple for you too. But I want you to gain an understanding how advanced students kind of just look at things in the same way you do, but just with harder notes, okay? So watch the whole thing. Here we go. So the same exact methods. Go to the string scraper. Okay, here we go. So let's get this out of the way. Okay. So we're going to take our drawing, same idea. And where I started off with the song 3, 2, 1, 3, 3, 2, grace note 4, open A, 3, 2, open A, 2, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, and then it repeats itself. So let's just say I have a student, for, you know, example, she's having problems between measures the pickup in measure 1 through the end of measure 2. Okay. And, she's got the rest of it, or he or she has the rest of it. So the next thing we're going to find out is what are we going to look at for the next thing is. Okay, so let's go back to your list. And, the next thing you're going to find out is what, I just lost my breath, my notes. Hang on a second. The next thing we're going to look at is, one second, my thing is acting up here. There we go. So let's go back and look at our notes really quickly. Okay, so time signature, the notes, beats, slurs, practice 5 times. Right. So let's go back and look at this. So we have this guy here, the pickup, and the end of measure 2. So we're going to notice that we are in 6/8 time. That means 6 quarter notes, or excuse me, 6/8 notes are going to be, 6/8 notes are going to be in each measure. That's the bottom line. It could be different rhythms though. For example, you could have a half note, you could have a quarter note, you could have 8th notes, you can have 16th notes. The sky's the limit. So, but the 8th note gets the beat, okay? So the next thing you're going to look at is, are there any slurs? The next thing you're going to look at is what are the notes you're having problems with. So let's go ahead and look at that right now. Okay. So the notes that we're going to look at are, for an example, 3 and 2 are bow crossing, and 1 and and then from 2 to 1 are another. So we can just, say, so we can say 3 and 2, and 2 and 1, and the rest are pretty simple. So anything that has like a bow crossing with this type, even with this type can be very simple. Anything that's even wider, can also be applied, as far as it being 3 on the D to 2 on the E. That's a big ordeal. So let's make a list here again. So what we're going to do is, there we go. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go back to the whiteboard, and we're going to say, here. Okay, so number 1, same idea. Measures 1 through 2. Okay, number 2, this is 6/8 time. And then we have number 3, beats and slurs. There are slurs in here. And number 4, practice 5 times without messies. Okay, so we are in 6/8 time. Okay, it's actually not half bad. Okay, and the notes that we're having problems with are, let's go back to it. you want to fast forward to the part where we actually get on here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what we're having problems with is so we're having problems with an eighth note, another eighth note. Remember this. This is the pickup eighth note. Okay, which we count it as 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1. Okay, that's how we count it. It's really fun to sing it while you count the beats. And then we have an eighth rest. I have a Maine Coon. He loves to sing. Sorry. I have a musical family. Seriously, though, I do. Okay, and then another eighth note. And then the rest of it is just really simple. So those are your rhythms that you're having issues with. Okay. And then beats and slurs. We do have slurs. We have between these two notes, they are slurred. And then this is an up bow. Okay. And whoa, that did not turn out right. So we have an up bow on here. And these two notes here are up bows as well. So this is how we're dissecting it, okay? And it's totally okay to just take your time and get to know your new piece, or a piece that you already have known for a couple weeks now, but it just seems like you need some help on it. So, okay. So now that we're doing that, the beats and the slurs, we're done with that. Practice 5 times without messing up. Okay, so now to apply this idea, we're going to stop, screen share that, go here, share. Okay, so now, okay, so now that we're going to be doing this, we're going to just put our brackets back in there. Okay, so, and then we're going to get our violin out and we're going to play it 5 times. Okay, so here we go. So up bow and your slur. Now what I'm doing is called teeter-totter effect. So teeter-totter. Make sure everything is a-okay. The bow hold is correct. Okay. Really check your thumb, curve your pinky, curve your thumb. Make sure these guys are together and your first finger is nice and relaxed. Curve it because you're going to straighten it when you go to the very tip of the bow, and then curve it when you go up. These are just basic principles. And then you're going to go towards the middle of the bow for this preference of this song. Just practice 5 times. And the other key is to keep your fingers closer to the fingerboard. Okay. And then for this song, you're going to go up, down. Right? And then keep going. There's another one right here. Maybe you have a problem with it, maybe you don't. F sharp, open A, 2. And there's a slur, up, up, down, up, up, down. And just keep in mind, there's no accidentals yet. Keep going. There's another one. So right here. See here. So 2, open 2, 2, open 2. And keep your fingers closer to the fingerboard. Don't have it up like here. Keep them close. 8, 8, 8, 8, 8, 8. Dotted quarter. 5 times. And then down. They're slurred all in one bow. Go to the frog. And that too should be fast. And then the open 3, the open 3. Keep it really close. Keep your fingers close to the fingerboard. And so we have a problems with, I was not prepared for that piece. I'm actually playing this piece for the first time in 6 years. So yeah. Okay, so here we go. I have a lot of beginning students. Good, and you just pretend like I played it 5 times. Okay, so yeah, when you can, it doesn't have to be notes that are bow crossings. It can be something that you made a mistake on. Go back and fix it 5 times, then go back, a couple of measures back, and then do it again. Make sure you got it. Okay. Okay. So here's some more crossings right here. And then we get down here, and I'm just gonna do a couple more things. That's really fun. 3, open D, 3, open D, 3, open D. And then we go from the beginning of the song, and I really love this part. Oh, okay. I really love this part of the song where it's really kind of like romantic type. I just wanted to play it for the fun of it. So right here, this is good between this part right here and here. It's an amazing piano introductory to the second part of the song. So yeah, I love that romantic part of that. But there's a lot of different parts where you can definitely see it crossing from here to here, and so forth and so on. But those kind of areas, you're just gonna take it one easy at a time. Now, when it comes to 4 or 5 notes on a bow, that's when you really have to dissect it and take your time. So let's do one more thing and we'll call it a day. So this second part of the song right here, where I was getting loosey-goosey right there. So from 3 to open D, same exact string, right? And then 2, 3, 1. So that 1, you're going to cross over to the A string, keep the 4, keep the 3, go back to the D string, keep the D, keep the 2, keep the 3, go back onto the A string again. So pretty simple stuff, right? So keep it on separate. So let's separate the slurs. So, right? So that makes it simplified. So now throw in the slurs. Now you're saving too much bow, so you're using a lot of bow for this. So go to the frog. Okay, did you see how I did that? So really attack the notes that you're having problems with, especially that four. Reach up high for it if you feel like you're off tune. Tuned, like how I said that tune. Okay, so and excuse me, same thing for the four on the E. Reach up for it, not down, but reach. This normal reach, reach higher. You're still keeping your thumb here. Just reach, reach, reach. Okay, and even if your hand is starting to feel a little sore, remember to bring your thumb a little bit with you. Okay, don't keep it down like a staple. That's why a way to get carpal tunnel in your thumb. So keep it nice and loosey, but not so loose that you lose your grip. So. Okay, and then same thing goes for the rest of the piece of that song. So good job. If you have any questions, leave me the comment below. And you know, you can do this. You know, you really sometimes have to give yourself a pep talk because you're just like, I don't know if I can do this, but you really can. As long as you keep these steps, you can accomplish anything. And you know, simplifying things is really important. So just lastly, it's important to count. It's important to take these 4 steps and apply them to whatever. It can be a, you know, beginning level, an advanced level, but the most important thing is that you listen to your music. If you have a CD or you know, um, you know, past professors that you took from years ago, you know, if you're an advanced student and you're just, you know, picking up music again, you know, if you've had, you know, past music professors that have tried to help you, you know, record themselves and you just kind of lost interest because it got too hard for you, you know, just remember one thing. No matter what type of song it is or who recorded it or what CD it comes from, remember to listen to it at least 5 times a day, because it's going to help you no matter what experience you had with me or a past professor or even a CD. You know, just because it freaked you out does not mean that you cannot accomplish it. You can. It's really mind over matter, you know. So just remember to have fun. Not everything has to be structured, you know, and everything like that. Have a balance, you know. So have fun with this. And sometimes you can even, you know, lastly, just have fun with these rhythms. I'll give you one example. Let's go back to this really quickly, and I'll show you what I'm about to say. Okay, so let's go back to this, and I'll let this be the last thing. You can really just take these rhythms and have fun with them. You can turn it into whatever you want. And for example, um, if you just take your number 73 and you go, you know, and you don't have to do the rhythms that's on it. As long as you have fun with it, you can come back to it. As long as you get the correct notes, that's what's important too. So number 74, or number 75, you can do. And you don't have to do what I'm doing. You can do, you know, whole notes. Or you can do half notes. right? And then when you have those that are advanced, you can do, you can just take the, you can take the, let's see, you can take it and go back here. You can take it the very like right here on the beginning of the music right here, and you can go, you know, or you can do, you have on, you can put drill in there if you want to just like a fiddler, but there really is no difference between a violin and a fiddle. Depends on how you play it. So anyway, I hope this encouraged you. Have a great day and practice, practice, practice. And don't forget to have fun and take breaks. Thanks for tuning in and have a blessed day.